Hey y'all, welcome to our final day of the Stitch Upon a Time Ursula Leggings sew along. Today's the day that we put it all together and we have a pair of leggings, another pair of leggings. I can't wait to see what y'all make. This is one of my favorite days. I have two favorite days during sew alongs. I have my first favorite day is fabric, cutting out fabric, because I love to see everybody's fabric choices and what they picked, because there's so many different options, and to see what everybody picks and how it's always a little different. I love it. And it just inspires me and fills me with all kinds of creativity. And then this is my second favorite day because we finally get to see everybody's finished creations. I love it. Okay, so let's just get right to it. We've had two super quick and easy days, and I'm hoping today can be just as quick and easy. We've already made our shorts or leggings. And we've already made a skirt, or if you didn't do the skirt, you probably did like maybe you did some of the different cuff designs that they have. So today, all that we need to do is just put it all together, right? So you should have a lining waistband and a regular waistband. So the first thing we need to do is add this camera on so you can see what I'm working at. Okay. So we need to take our lining waistband pieces. So just like this. And we are going to put them right sides together. And then we're going to sew along these two shorter edges. Okay, so happen to allowance if you're using a regular sewing machine. Stretch stitch, lightning stitch, triple stretch stitch, lightning stitch, zigzag stitch. Any of those work really great. I just really, really, really encourage you to go back through and reinforce your stitches when you're finished. I don't encourage you on all, don't encourage you. That's a bad thing to say. I wouldn't say on everything you make to reinforce the stitches, but on something like this where there's it's just going to be tighter fitting, and you have the possibility that your stitches will show, or they just have a little bit more, you're going to be working them a little bit more, right? Since it's tighter, getting it on and off, even just moving, they're going to be, I'm completely drawing a blank for words today, but they're just going to have a little bit more wear and tear to them. So you're going to want to make sure to just give them a little extra help. All right, so our lining is done, and we just need to do the same thing to our waistband. I chose to use the same fabric for my waistband and my lining waistband just because that's kind of what I prefer to do when I do it. I don't always do it that way, but sometimes just in case it wants to peek out or anything like that, which it doesn't usually. But, yeah. Okay, so same thing. We're just going to sew along the short end here and attach those two waistband pieces. 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then repeat with the other side. Ooh, I'm so grateful for the weather. If you saw my Facebook post earlier in the week, it has been one wild ride for us this week, but I am grateful that we've had beautiful weather, so it's not been too bad. All right, so now what we want to do is I'm going to take my lining and I'm going to turn it right sides out. And then I am going to slide it into the waistband. So now that my lining and my waistband are right sides together, and I'm going to line up these the seams that we created to attach the two pieces together. Okay, making sure that you've got them both going in the same direction. So because it curves up a little bit, you don't want one piece curving up and the other piece curving down. You want to make sure that they're both curving up. So like here, you can see how it's angling up. You want to make sure both pieces are at that angle up phase versus down the wider. All right, if you are adding elastic to this, that's what you'll do kind of here in this next step. You'll add your elastic right into the top here. I don't really like using elastic on my waistbands, especially for leggings. I feel like that it just creates a bit of an irritant for me. So what I would recommend, if you are kind of like me and you're like, elastic in my waistband, is to do the waistband with the lining. Try it on. And if you're like, this isn't going to hold, take it in just like a little bit, like a half an inch or so, and then try that on. Make sure that it's not too tight, but that you feel more secure in it. Because that's something you can always do. You don't have to follow the same measurements. You know, if you're like, no, I don't like the feel of this, it's your creation. Change it. Make it the way that you want it. I kind of look at patterns and instructions as guidelines, like, hey, this is what they recommend doing. But if I don't like it, why do it that way? So I really recommend, you know, try it the way that they recommend first, because there's a reason that they recommend it that way. And if you don't like it, fix it. Make it how you want it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is along the top here. So not the wider, the less wide. Why am I drawing a blank? Okay. So here you can see how it angles downwards. So here's the wider edge. The wider edge is now going to be the bottom. That's going to be where we attach it to our leggings. So along the top here, where it angles in, that's what we want to sew. We're going to sew 1/2 inch around that top part. I'm actually probably going to do slightly less because I did the high rise and I prefer my leggings to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to do probably a little bit less than 1/2 inch. Just making sure though that those raw edges are lined up. And if you're using a regular sewing machine, that you use a stretch. Lightning stretch, triple stretch, zigzag. Any of those work. You wouldn't necessarily have to go through and reinforce these seams if you don't want to, because they're not going to have that pull from side to side like. Because like I notice if my seams or if my stitches are going to show, it's usually on the leggings where they're getting pulled to the side versus up and down. Oh, it was a bird. I thought I heard crying. All right, now our waistband is done. We're going to flip it right sides together, and we're going to quarter it. So we'll take the two seams and line those up. If you want, you can top stitch your waistband. I don't usually, but it will give it a nice crisp edge. I find if I just go through later and iron it, it works just as well. But totally up to you. Okay, so now that we've clipped our seams here, we might end up having to change that. But okay, so we're going to find our next quarter points by matching up the seams. And the top and the bottom of that fold are our next quarter points. And this is Lex Double Brush Poly, and it is a dream to sew. I absolutely love this stuff. It's thick. It's amazing. The recovery on it for leggings, it's my favorite. Absolute favorite. Hands down. All right. So we have our quarter points for our waistband now. And now what we need to do is we need to put our skirt and short set together. So making sure that the front of our shorts, so the part that's got kind of a curve down here, you'll see there's a notice. You'll notice this is to go over your booty. So that's why it's a bit wider. We will slip the shorts. Actually, what I want to do first is I want to quarter this skirt. Make sure I can get those lined up nicely. And don't forget when you go to the front that there's 2 layers there. So you want to make sure you get both of them. Okay. All right. And then the front of your skirt is where your tulip is. And we're just going to slide the shorts right in. And we'll match the back seam with the back of the skirt. And the front seam with the front of the skirt. Okay. And then we should have quartered the shorts first, but that's okay. We can do that now. So just lining up those front and back seams. We'll quarter our shorts. Okay. Sure, that's slightly off. So. Okay, and now we're going to take those side quarter points for our shorts and line them up with the seam, side seam for the skirt. All right, so now our finished waist, you can see the shorts will peek through the bottom of the skirt. Super cute. So you can choose to baste this together. By basting the shorts and the skirt together, you're going to prevent them from slipping when you attach the waistband. I'm choosing not to do that this time, but I do recommend you do if this is your first time with knits, if you've got a slippery kind of knit that you're like, this might move on me and I'm not comfortable with it. Do what you feel comfortable with, what you want to do. But I definitely recommend, if you are new with knits, to baste it. So to baste it, all you're going to do is on a regular sewing machine, you're just going to take and lengthen your straight stitch. You're going to lengthen it. I tend to lengthen it all the way just to give it a nice loose stitch, because all you need is it to just hold. And you'll just sew along the top here and it'll be basted together. So, all right. Now we are going to take our waistband with the lining out. So it's kind of hard to tell in mine since they're the same fabric, but we're going to put the lining on the outside so that the right sides of our leggings or skirt and leggings are right sides together with the waistband. Sorry, doing 2 things at once. And we are just going to match those quarter points up all the way around. Here we go. Right here. Okay, so now you should have something that looks similar to this with your waistband, all the raw edges for your leggings. If you have a skirt, that the raw edges for your waistband, they're all going to be lined up. Keep in mind that when you go to the front, if you have the skirt, you've got 2 pieces for your skirt, you have the piece for the leggings, and you have 2 pieces for your waistband. So when you get to that front, make sure that you're getting all 5 of those pieces when you're stitching around. That's why I think it would probably be best to baste, just because that's a lot to keep track of, and if just one slips. All right. And now what we need to do is we just need to sew all the way around to attach that 1/2-inch seam allowance. I like to start in my back when I attach waistbands. I don't know why. It's what I do. I'm weird. 1/2-inch seam allowance. Again, if you're using a regular machine, you want to make sure to use a stretch stitch, zigzag stitch, triple stretch, lightning stretch. With this, just like with when we attach the lining in the waistband, you don't have to reinforce these stitches because they're going to be pulling up and down versus left and right. And I notice my up and down stitches on things like this don't show as much as my left and right. But if you put them on and you notice it, just go back through and reinforce those stitches. Just making really sure that everything is, all raw edges are lined up. We're not missing anything. Let me go this all around. 1/2-inch seam allowance kind of helps with that too, because it gives you a little bit more wiggle room, but you want to make sure they're as close to lined up as possible, because if not, you're going to have like weird lengths. Okay, and just like that, we now have our new Ursula leggings. Oh, these are so cute. I love this. This is going to be perfect for summer. Having the leggings and the skirt. The only thing is maybe I tend to wear a lot of black leggings, so I think the only thing that I would do a little different is maybe next time do black instead of the same color as the skirt for the leggings portion. But all in all, I actually really love it, and I cannot wait to try it on. I gotta iron it first because those seams are so wavy. But yay, we did it in 3 less than 20-minute days. We have made a pair of leggings with a skirt. If you did a skirt, how awesome! I cannot wait to see your creation. Please, please, please share it in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, come on over to our Facebook group, share it over there. We'd love to see your creations and your makes. Thank you so much for joining me. This was such a fun sew. This was just what I needed this week, something nice and easy, and I could do it in 3 days, 3 20-minute days. Yay! Something that just made me feel accomplished at the end of every day and wasn't so overwhelming. It wasn't like a huge, like, oh no, we've got to make a jacket. So thank you so much. This has been so fun and so fantastic, and I cannot wait to see your leggings. Well, thank you for joining me. Next week, we will be doing the Green Style Creations Embrace bra. I'm excited. I know we're doing a lot of leggings and a lot of bras, but what better time than right now when everybody's working out and getting fit and starting to come out of hibernation, right? So these are our last ones though, and then we'll start moving into more different garments and whatnot. But this has been great. I cannot wait to get the green style one done as well. And then if you are wanting, we also are doing, in conjunction with the leggings, we did a Stitch Upon a Time Callista, which I actually did. I made it into a tunic and used the straps, the strappy back, because I was like, okay, since we're doing such an easy legging, let's do something a little crazy with the Callista. So I did strappy back for Callista. So that will be on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And thank you for joining me this week. This was just what I needed to just refresh my day, refresh my week. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next week.